welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you how to create this look using the Basquiat Collection from Urban Decay. I am going to be using the palette that has the brighter colors in it, this palette. I'm also going to be using the blush and face palette. That's the inside. And I'm also going to be using one of the lipsticks that was in the collection. It's Abstract, and it's a cream finish from Urban Decay, also part of the collection. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so to start with, I have nothing on my face, so I am going to go ahead and prime my face first. What I've been using is the Pores No More Pore Refiner by Dr. Brandt. I got it at the Sephora VIB sale. So I've just been putting a little bit on my hand, on the back of my hand, and putting it in problem areas, which would be my cheeks. And it has a little bit of a tint to it. You can see that. Which it doesn't really come out on the skin too much. A little bit on the center, down the nose. I like to put it places where my skin might get oily throughout the day too. Okay, once I set that, I do my foundation. What I've been using is a combo of the Hourglass stick and the Gorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation in the color 3. So I put this kind of all over. Then I have a little palette that I put the foundation on. I find that the Hourglass didn't apply great with a beauty blender, and it ended up starting to be too dark for me. And I got the Luminous Silk foundation, which I wasn't liking by itself. It was, I don't know if it was the primer I was using or what, but it was kind of, it was lifting. It was looking really weird on my nose area, so wasn't feeling that. But now that I've kind of used them together, things have been working out good. And I do use a brush. I'm going to use the Morphe, not sure what the number is, but this Morphe brush. Put a little bit of Fix Plus. And then I just go ahead and take my brush, press it on the palette a few times, kind of just press it all over my face to kind of get it everywhere. And then I just go ahead and start mixing it in. I like to do my foundation first because I noticed when I was doing my eyeshadow first, it looked like I didn't, you could tell where the foundation stopped around my eye sockets and my nose, and I didn't like that. And I felt like I couldn't really get in there with a beauty blender or a brush after. So this is what I've been doing now. And I do put a little bit on my ear, behind my ear, take it down below the chin. Just want to make sure that it's really blended. It's really hot here today, so I'm not wanting my makeup to melt off. Alright, the next thing I'm going to use is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the color Light Medium Honey. And I like to use this because it really just brightens up under the eyes. I like to use it in the space between where I'm going to put my bronzer and my highlight. And for this I do use a beauty blender to buff it all out. I find this gives it the best finish. I'm going to try a couple of products that I got at the VIB haul or my Ulta Beauty haul. So it's kind of be like a first impression of those, what I think of those. Alright, so now that I've got all that on, what I do is I go with the bronzer. I've been really liking actually a bronzer I got in a BoxyCharm, which was the Pure Mineral Glow. But I'm actually going to try out the Hula Light. I got this in my Ulta haul. And I just want to kind of bronze up the skin a little bit. This brush I use pretty much on the daily, but I do notice that it sheds. It's a Morphe M403. I really like it. The only thing I really dislike, obviously, is the shedding. But I haven't found one that I want to replace it. Okay, I like to put it up top of my forehead and around my temple area, just kind of bring it back down, just so it all kind of looks connected. That way you really give the appearance that you might actually have a tan. And then I'll take it under the chin, behind the ears, same thing, and take it all the way around, sweep it down. That way you don't have that line where they can tell that your makeup stopped. This is definitely a lot lighter than I normally go, but I like it. And I am going to set my face because it's extremely hot today, and I'm going to do that with the translucent powder by Laura Mercier. And I do this application with a beauty blender, so I just take it, press it in there, and I do find that no matter what, I do kind of get fallout on my clothes, which I really don't like. But I think it's unavoidable. If you have a trick or a tip on how to not get it all over yourself, share that with me, please. And I'm just going to look for a mirror so I can get close up. Right underneath where I put the bronzer, just kind of makes it a little bit sharper. Seriously, over this. I think it's time I have to stop using that brush because that's just ridiculous. And do it to the other side, which of course has... Alright, so I'm just going to take some of the powder and I'm going to go ahead and do this other side. Again, just right underneath the bronzer. And I just kind of bring it all the way in here and then just put the excess around my smile area, my whole mouth, just in case that, since it is so hot, that area might get a little bit oily. And then I go ahead and just press it under. I don't do it directly on the under eye, like right in the corner. I feel like if you do have any type of fine lines in that area, it is going to highlight because it will get stuck in those fine lines. So it kind of highlights that, and that's not something that we're looking to do. So then I take it and I do just kind of do it all over my forehead. I like the finish that it gives, and I like the fact that it keeps it from getting too oily. They do have like sweat-proof makeup that I do want to give a try. If you've tried it before, tell me what you think. Leave me a comment down below. Alright, so for my face, I just kind of let that sit. I am going to prime my eyes. And I'm going to be using a Painterly Paint Pot by MAC. And you could do a brush, you can use your finger, do whatever. I'm just going to use a small shader. It's a Luxie 221, it's a flat definer. And I'm just going to go ahead and set the eyes. I wanted to use something that had kind of like a white or a white-ish base, since the look I'm going to do featuring the Basquiat eyeshadows is going to be a really bright one. So if I put down a white, it kind of brings that color out a little bit more. It gives it more of a pop. But this is about as white as I have. So I'll just go ahead and I like to prime the whole eye area. It's kind of up to you. I know some people use concealer. I know some people just do it on the eyelid. There's really no hard and fast rule when it comes to really makeup in general, but priming your eyelids, it's whatever you want, whatever you think looks best. Just gonna make sure it's all covered. Go in with it's the RCMA translucent or no color powder. I keep mine in just like a little kind of like jewelry case. Has a cute little unicorn on it. And I just keep it inside there because if you have it, you already know that the packaging is more like a spice bottle than it is like for makeup. So there's no real way to get it out without making a huge mess everywhere. And then I'm just going to use a Morphe R40, and I'm just going to put this powder and set the paint pot. And I do this so that my eyeshadow won't skip on the eye. It just gives it a little bit of a base, a powder base, so that it can go on smoothly. I have a couple ideas of what I want to do today for my eye look. Kind of was thinking about doing something a little bit out of the box. Definitely not an everyday look. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm going to go for it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, so I'm primarily wanting to use the colors that are in this palette right here. I'm thinking that I'm going to go in with this turquoise shade and set that right in my crease. It's called Boom. This is my first time using this palette, so I'm not sure how pigmented it is. So initially, I think I'm just going to use the same R40 and go in with that. I'm just going to pick up a little bit so I can get an idea of how pigmented this is. Now keep in mind, wherever you put your brush down first is where it's going to leave the most pigment. So what I kind of like to do is open my eye so I can see where the crease is, and then I'll go ahead and I think I'm going to go right there. I'm just going to put that in there. And I like to just go ahead and brush it up. It kind of creates that cat eye look if you kind of just press it up. I feel like it brings your whole eye look up and out and wider versus down. And I think I'm just going to go all the way in to the center. I still haven't picked up any other shadow yet. I'm just kind of going through, blending this in. It's a little bit darker than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more of a bright tealish kind of color, but it's still really pretty. Okay. And I'm just going to pick some up and go ahead and do that to the other eye. And for some reason this eye seems to pick up color a little better or differently than my right eye. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's the different way that you're holding the brush because you're crossing over. It's not your dominant side. Same technique, still wanting to bring it all the way in. it seemed like I got a little bit less on my brush that time. I'm not being super cautious as far as if it's getting a little bit below my crease or way high up, because I'm actually going to go in with a darker color over top of it. So, alright, so now I think I'm going to go in with the dark blue, and I'm actually going to put that above the light blue. I'm going to use just a really small tipped brush, just like that, because I want to lay down the blue so I can kind of map out exactly where I want it so it doesn't get too crazy. The dark blue is that one right there, and it is called Untitled. So the first shadow I used was this teal one, which is called Boom, and now I'm using this one called Untitled. I want to make sure to shake off as much excess as I can, because like I said, I don't want it to get too crazy or too far out of control that I can't bring it back in. So I'm just going to kind of
right above my crease on my eye bone. I'm just, like I said, pushing it up and starting it into the center.
I may decide to go back into that teal color and add some Fix Plus to it, so it might pop a little bit more. Just depends on where this blue goes. Now that I kind of have a good point of reference, I can just kind of go and I'm just patting that line that I've already kind of made and just bringing it in. And now I'm just kind of pulling it kind of down and then up from the inner corner. I really want it to be really well blended so that it doesn't look like teal and then directly into dark blue. I really want to get the blending portion of that down so it just looks very smooth and transition. So I'm just kind of going back through, same thing. Okay, so I don't know if it stopped recording somewhere when I was looking down, but basically I went back and did the same thing to this eye. So basically I just went in with that teal color, put that right in my crease and a little bit above. Then I went in with the darker blue and put that just a little up higher, blended it all together. And now I'm taking the same Luxie brush that I used to prime my lid with and putting Shape Tape on it. And what I'm basically going to do is go ahead and start cutting my crease. So just kind of looking at the eye shape all around, like where exactly I want it to cut at, and I'm gonna go just right under my actual crease. If a little bit bleeds onto the top of your eye base, you can go ahead and go over that with the eyeshadow. But I'm still just going to, I just went ahead and dipped back in there.
Be kind of careful while you're in our eye. And once you kind of get your line established, then you can just use that and make sure that you've got that completely filled in so that it's blank now. So it should look like that. Go and do the other eye.
And now the trick is you want to get it to match up basically as far as how high you went on one eye versus the other eye. So take a look, it should be roughly the same. Take a look, see if it's pretty even. And it looks like I just went a little bit higher in the center on that other eye. So I'm gonna kind of let that dry for a second, and I was thinking I wanted to use this really lime greenish color. It's called Exu. Maybe not pronounced that way, but it's spelled E-X-U. And I wanted to put that on really close to my lash line. So for that, I am going to need a very defined brush. Maybe I'll do like something kind of like a wing. Maybe something just like this, like a really small pencil brush, just to really kind of get it in there, and then I can make a decision as far as if I want to wing it out or just kind of, I don't know, like shade it out or smoke it out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I put quite a bit on there, and I'm going to go ahead and put it really close to the lash line, see what it looks like, see if it needs Fix Plus, or if I am happy with the pigment that I get. I think I'm going to go ahead and put Fix Plus. So I'm just going to take some Fix Plus. I've already got the product on the pencil brush. Just go ahead and spray it. And then just go right back over what I've already put on the eye. Keeping it really close to the lash line. I do want to take it all the way down into my inner corner. So this is what it's looking like at this point. And now I do have it where the two colors, the kind of like the dark blue and the teal, are touching the green at the corner. I may separate that depending on how I feel it looks. And I may go back through with some concealer, and I'm seeing that these colors are really pigmented. I've heard a little bit of mixed reviews, and I'm not really having a problem with the color payoff or the pigmentation itself. So I'm not really sure what other people were experiencing. So I would just do this. Maybe I don't like the wing. So I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and take it off. And I think I'm going to clean up the edge on the blue just so it's more sharp. I just take a makeup wipe, put it over my nail like that, and basically put it where I want it to clean up, and just go all the way up with it.
I decided to go ahead and try the wing, and that proved to be a disaster. So I was stuck then cleaning it up.
To go back and fix that blue and add a little bit more of the shape tape in there. So I'm just going to kind of go back over the blue. And I'm going to go back in with that shape tape just to make it more obvious that there's a division there.
Just basically doing exactly what I did before with the concealer. My goal is just putting it really evenly
in between those colors. And like I said, if you get a little bit on that blue up there, that's fine. We can definitely fix that. Okay, so I did a little work off camera, just kind of fix that cut crease I went ahead and I did this eye. As you can see, there's definite cut crease in there. Needs a little bit more work, but that's kind of what I've got for now. Just gonna clean this up a little bit. And I can always go back over my foundation. That's not a problem. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to put, I haven't decided what I want to do with my brow bone exactly. If I want to use, I think the blush palette might have a highlighter in it. So let me pull that out. Let's see. So they have this one and it's called Now's the Time. So let me see what that looks like. So I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty bright. Kind of has like a golden tone to it. Let's test it out and see. And I'm going to use the brush that came inside of it. And I'm just going to go ahead and just place it right under the brow bone. Whoa. That definitely gives it a definite pop right under there, and you can definitely tell now that I need to get my eyebrows done. But so you can definitely see, and my brush was a little bit wet. I had a little bit of Fix Plus on it, so now I'm just going the other eye, same thing. So that's the look so far. Actually, I wonder, I'm gonna see if there's a white shadow. Blush brush, that blush brush's last day. It's gonna be destroyed. Okay, so then I am going to, I think I'm gonna do my brows. And it is the Goof Proof. And I use number 2. Since my hair is so light, I kind of like to do a lighter eyebrow than my natural color. And I just started using this and I actually really, really like it. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of brush it up, get a good shape, and just kind of start defining it a little bit right there in the beginning. When it comes to brows, I kind of feel like this is my weakness. I don't really do a lot to my brows. I get them done at the Benefit Brow Bar, and this brow pencil is about all I do to them. And I think it's just a lack of, I don't really know how to do them or what I want to use in them. I know a lot of people use the brow, I think it's like the Brow Wiz, the Brow Gel by Anastasia. I have tried her Brow Wiz, and that is also a pencil just like.
So, I'm doing something crazy. And again, I just define right underneath. Kind of get that line of definition. And then I just kind of take off some of the pressure as I get towards the end, so it's not so dark. And I just try to follow the natural shape of my brow. And just go in the open spaces, so it looks fuller. I do kind of like the fluffed up look in the center. So I'm just going to go through them again. Make sure that they look okay.
And I'm actually going to take a blending brush and just kind of blend right
where the blue and the brow highlighter meet, but not necessarily.
just kind of wanting it to go ahead and fade into that area. And so next I'm going to go on to lashes. Wispy. No, I think I'm going to go with the Wispy. Feeling that Duo glue. And I'm going to do my lashes off camera. And okay, I'm back. I've got my lashes on, and I chose to do the Ardel-Whispies. And I just put Tarte's Lash Lights Camera Lashes mascara. I'm kind of toying with the idea of adding jewels to the look. I was thinking possibly just on the brow bone or underneath. I was gonna go and put some of the blue shadows on the under eye. And let's see. I'm gonna do it in the same order in which I put it on. A ton of product, and then just kind of looking up. Really, really close to the lash line. And I'm gonna go about halfway or so. I'm gonna do the same thing, get all that excess off on the other eye. And so just basically really, really close to the lash line. This is the one that came in the palette itself. And just gonna put a little bit on that, the very, very small side. And just put it right on that like outer 3/4. Same thing. Outer corner, and I'm kind of just mirroring it up with that line that was right on my outer corner already. And I'm actually going to go back and put a little bit of the teal on this under eye. And then just kind of take it back on this one. And so that's what it looks like right now. And I know I have teal right there. I'm going to wipe that off. Alright, and I'm just going to go back with my beauty blender over where I just had to take off that teal and just kind of check that area again. And so this is the eye look that I have right now. I definitely want to add some jewels just to make it fun. I am going to go ahead and do my blush. And I am going to be using the palette that came with the set. And I think I'm going to go with the X-rated. And that way I can kind of build it up if I want to. I'm going to go in with a Luxie 512. It says small contouring brush, but I actually really like it for blush. And normally I would put blush on it and then spray Fix Plus on it. But because I don't want it to get out of hand, I'm actually just going to use it completely dry.
I don't think I need to do really any more than that as far as going back into it and making it darker.
I like to put a little bit on my nose, that way it just gives it a little bit of color. I am going to go in and highlight, and I am going to use the highlighter. It's called Now Is the Time, the same one I used on the brow bone. And I am going to go in with I'm going to do the Morphe M51 and just take a little bit of it, tap off some of the excess because it is really pigmented, and just kind of sweep it across the top of my cheekbones. So I don't know if you can really see it, but it's pretty pigmented. I'll go ahead and do another swipe. And then I'm just going to bring it kind of up above the brow bone. Same thing with this side.
And sweep it across the top of the cheekbone. And then brow bone. And down the bridge of my nose.
That's it. Cupid's bow. And now I'm all highlighted. I am going to be using one of the two shades from the collection as well, and either Abstract or Epigram. One is more of a sienna toned, one is more of just kind of a nude tone. Abstract, just because the eye look is bold enough by itself. I don't need a bold lip necessarily, but if you want a bold lip, I say go for it. If I had the other one, I would definitely be doing like a purple lime green mix. So I'm just gonna keep it simple with Abstract. Very nice cream finish. So it's very neutral. I don't typically wear too many colors like this being kind of just a brown nude, but I think it looks really good with the look. And I am going to add, so I did pick up sequins, gold sequins that I thought would be kind of fun to play with. I think I am going to add some of these lime green rhinestones. And I'm thinking I'm going to do under the brow bone, and I'm going to go for the really bright ones that match the lime. And for that I'm going to use the House of Lashes glue that I got in the VIB haul. It's clear white. And the reason I'm going to do that is just because it has a brush applicator versus the duo glue, which is the kind that you squeeze out. I don't want to squeeze out a ton and then either make a mess or never be able to get that jewel off. So, tweezers.
I can't wait for when I left this door open.
So I've got one down. This is a little bit tricky, but I also picked the absolute smallest ones that you could pick on the sheet. So, alright, so now I'm just picking it up basically with the tweezer, applying the lash glue, and then I'm going to go ahead and set it here on the outer edge of my eyebrow, 4 on my eyebrow there, or just under the brow. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the right side. So,
It's right about here on the other eye, so I'm going to get that to stick. Again, just wipe off the tweezers so that any glue doesn't get stuck to your next jewel.
alright, so I'm back. I've finished attaching the jewels. I went ahead and curled my hair a little bit, and this is the final look using the Jean-Michel Basquiat Collection. I used the eyeshadow palette, the lipstick, and the blush and highlighter. I adhered some jewels to my brow bone and to my inner corners. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any ideas or if you did a look using the Basquiat Collection, tag me on Instagram and I'll go check it out. If you like seeing tutorials and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications when I post new videos. Thank you so much for watching.